I'm coming in hot.
Hello and welcome back to Oto's Diary. My name is Patience Mupemo and I talk about personal finance management, fashion, purpose, relationships, and mental health. So today we are going to talk about my personal development experience in mental health, particularly in psychosocial counseling. I should have mentioned that I did pursue psychosocial counseling somewhere 2022 to 2023. I began prior to the end of 2022 and it spilled over to 2023. I did my practicum at Kawata Clinic. It was an awesome experience. So anyway, I'll talk about first of all why I actually pursued this short course. Like you may all know, I wrote a book, Navigating Trauma. So I was basically trying to add credibility to what I was writing so that when people ask me like, oh, so what did you do? What did you study? So I at least should say, okay, I have a paper, I did this and that, you know? So moving forward, fast forward to this year, somebody actually called me to say, you know, this thing that will be happening at so and so place. Are you interested? I was like, I don't mind. I mean, I'm so passionate about mental health. So I even forgot about it. I thought maybe it wouldn't even happen. But anyway, they called me. They contacted me when I least expected it. Literally least expected it. They were like, okay, this thing is on and we need a counselor. And I know there were a number of people who were contacted on that project. But for me, the fact that I was recognized, it meant so much to me because mental health, like I've mentioned, is so close to my heart. So I could have never imagined I could actually have found myself in a corporate space with my certificate in psychosocial counseling, right? And it was an awesome experience. I got to interact with new people. I got access to people I wouldn't have imagined interacting with. Literally, you know, one of the things that stand out to me in my career, my mental health journey, is that you get to have access into people's lives. They get to tell you things they wouldn't normally tell you on a normal day. For me, it's like a God experience, really. That's how I see it. And I don't take lightly that moment. And often when I'm talking to somebody, they're telling me about their issue, the thing that I ask God is like, what do they need to know in this moment that they don't know, that they will need to apply? Because yes, we've been given all those systems of like, okay, this is what you tell a client, blah blah blah. I follow that, trust me, I do follow that. But more than that, I do know, for me to say, whenever you are given a platform to interact with an individual, you are encountering destiny. You're not only speaking to that person, but you're also speaking to the destinies around them. So for me, it's like, God, I can't mess this up. What do they need to know? I'm looking at the person during the session, but in my heart, really, I'm trying to like get that word from the Holy Spirit. Honestly, it was a very fulfilling moment, you know. Me going to a province I have never gone to and speaking a language I have literally never spoken my whole life. Like I was literally struggling. People would say, how do you say? They say, how are you? Is like Moyoyo, and we respond with Okanawa. Yeah, something like that. Then Mujingahi. Hey, I don't know, guys. I do not know. I was struggling to learn Lunda. Anyway, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I'll move on to the next thing. Because you know, I didn't do this thing. I didn't see myself pursuing mental health when I was younger. I just thought I would do a degree in development studies and demography. Demography was my major. But you know, like me finding myself in these spaces later on, it's like, oh, you shouldn't really be stuck with one thing in life, you know. So I even encourage every person who is pursuing their tertiary studies to actually consider a lot of short courses. You know, you never know where you end up in life. I would have never thought that short course, it was a by the way thing for me, really. I was just trying to add credibility to the book that I had written, but look at what God did with it, literally. You know how God was asking Moses, what do you have in your hands? Literally, you know. So God can use anything that you have in your hands. But if what you have in your hands is just one thing, you sort of limit yourself. You have to have as many things as possible. Is it Ecclesiastes which talks about how you have to spread your investments into various places? And people relate with that with money, but I also think it has to do with even your knowledge. Your sphere of knowledge must be broadened, so that if something comes up, you are like, I can do this, I can do this. Moving forward, you know, I have talked about how you don't know what God can use to actually bless you, right? But more so, you don't know what God can use to actually bless other people. So personal development can actually be a platform through which God can use to bless other people. I don't think I would have had the opportunity to interact with the people I interacted with on the platform of counseling if I didn't pursue counseling, right? Another thing that I'll talk about is how when you are in places where like you are in groups of people, because you know, mostly when you're at a workspace, different people from different backgrounds, and most people curving like, I'm from Mayadi. But some people, it's really not like you're from Mayadi, but like you are just you know, you are someone who doesn't really interact so much with people. And I'm not saying you have to change your personality for you to interact with people. No, you don't have to change your personality. But you have to have an awareness that you are encountering destinies. And you know, you have to find a way of engaging with people so that you bring out your gift. Like your gift must be out there, like, okay, I actually do this. You know, I got the opportunity to sell a few copies of my books. There were just, I think there were just, I don't know if there were 6 or something like that. This is a reminder for authors. If you're an author, always move with your books. Wherever I go, I always ensure that I carry my books. Well, not always, but often I make sure that I have some copies of my books. The thing with selling books is that the person who is buying might not even be the one to be interested in that thing. In fact, this relates to even other products and services. When you talk about your product or service, some people may not even buy, but the person who they will tell might be interested. And particularly, I'll talk about the mental health aspect, right? Some people have purchased my books because I've written too. And I've experienced situations where somebody comes to tell me, oh, I read your book. Literally last week, my neighbor came to tell me that she read my book. She was so, like, I just saw her. Oh, Patience, I saw your book. I was like, you've seen my book for a while now. But what she meant is, this is when I got the opportunity to actually read it. And I believe she was touched because this is somebody who is like a boomer. She's in her 60s, mid-60s, going 70s. Is it? I don't know if those who are in their mid-60s are boomers, but yeah. she's in her mid-60s. She was like, I was really touched. What? You know? And then I just thought about, like, wait, the person who actually purchased my book from that place has not even read the book. But here is someone who encounters the copy of my book and comes to tell me about how she was started, and she was like, okay, I'll give you a review and everything. And you know, it just brought me into thinking like, okay, I wonder which part of the book really moved her. But that's besides the main point. But yes, so you're in groups of people. Don't just stay secluded. Talk about what you do. How are people going to know what you do if you don't talk about it? Engage with people. Greet people. Very important. Don't just stay like this in the corner. I know you could be an introvert, but like, greeting people has nothing to do with our personalities. It has to do with courtesy, right? Greet people. Oh, how are you? Don't just be quiet on your phone. You're in a group of people, but you're on your phone. Don't do that. So that's all I had for now. I'm hoping to see you in my next video. Like I mentioned, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, share with a friend, leave your comments on what you think on this video, and most importantly, take care of yourself. Bye bye.